strangely, I remember like my parents getting into like some sort of legal trouble. And I remember, all these people that had problems, and I always wanted to help them, but I felt like I had no power to help them. And so I wanted to do something that was powerful. When I was working for Marshall Grossman, I'd go downstairs and I'd grab a bar or a candy bar or whatever or a drink or water from the downstairs little shop there. And this Indian man named Punch would talk to me. He worked there and it was his store, and he was having a dispute with his brother. And felt like I wanted to help Punch. So I went to Marshall Grossman. I said, well, I get this, Punch needs some help. He's like, Punch can't afford our fees. We don't need to be representing Punch. We need to be representing, corporate America and making, real decisions that were economic for the firm. And it was like at that moment that I was like, I have to leave, right? Like I got to start my own firm, because I kind of wanted to represent the Punches of the world and have my own clients, because it felt totally different, right? It felt totally different to represent Punch and in his dispute with his brother than it felt representing a corporate entity. And I was passionate about it. Mainly, what I realized is if I wanted to be an entertainment lawyer, I had to sue entertainers. And I had to build a reputation that way, because no one was hiring us until you built a reputation, until you got that. So I really started to focus on going after, entertainers and trying to, defeat these established entertainment litigators and win cases or get settlements of cases and in things that were high profile, so that someone would write something about it, so that you could fool some people that you were actually doing this kind of type of law and that you were becoming, that you were an entertainment lawyer. The Gabrielle Union thing was a really important case against America's Got Talent, Simon Cowell, and that was significant in terms of the change that it fostered amongst NBC and how the entirety of NBC was reshuffled. The one thing McGeorge really did for me, although there was the look to your left, look to your right, there was also like this, you knew when you were there that whether people recognized it or not around the country, that you were amongst really smart people and you were really learning, and that you could really have success in the world. And that you were going to be great at what you did, no matter what you did. And I think McGeorge really gave me that confidence. I think there's a lot of really smart attorneys out there. And if I were going to be hiring an attorney today, the most important thing to me would be how much the attorney cares about my case. Because, more likely than not, the attorney is going to have a lot of files and a lot of different matters they can spend their time on. The devotion and the passion and the caring about the client and about the case, and really putting in the time and effort in that and toward that client, is really the most important thing. And I would say, in terms of someone preparing themselves, deepen your passion, deepen your focus. I fought a lawsuit for Migos, for Quavo and Offset, and all of them, and we sued actually their entertainment lawyer, and the reason why we did is because ultimately, in part, the masters and the intellectual property of the artist starts to seep away, and you start to see that, at least in the world of music, musicians get probably 15 cents of every dollar they really earn. That's what they end up with. And so, in those respects, I mean, I think those are really tough cases. They're really tough cases when they go after record labels. The law is really against them. Musicians, but I've been involved in some stuff with Mariah Carey around that, and Alanis Morissette, and it's very, very difficult. Sometimes your fight is more of a public fight than it ends up being a legal fight. The great thing about McGeorge was the professors that I had told me that I was going to be a really good lawyer. They told me that I was smart. They encouraged me. I really got a lot of encouragement. And sometimes people who believe in you and who say that enough to you, then you start to believe it yourself. And so all of the noise of these people that didn't know me, that sent a letter back saying, thanks, but no thanks, kind of didn't matter. And what mattered was, my intestinal fortitude to continue to try and to continue to take risks and to